And we'll just wait about 1 more minute for everybody to get in here, and then we'll get started with introductions. And then Mr. Glasser, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get the PowerPoint up and loaded just to make sure that we're good with it. So let me know if I've got this all going.
Do you want to maybe switch mics? Do you have 2 there? Because your mic.
Is it too soft?
Yeah. Let me know if mine cuts out. It's been on for a while.
All right, we'll try that. And then, so Mr. Glasser, let me know if you can see that opening slide now.
Yes, I can. You're on slide 1.
Okay. All right, well, it's 7:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Paula Patterson. I'm one of the 6th grade teachers. I will be teaching your students language arts, social studies, and then religion to my own homeroom class. I have taught here at St. Louise since 2008 with Mr. Glasser, so teaching 6th grade together has been a real joy for me. We really enjoy the 6th grade students and all that they do in their goofiness and how intelligent they are and funny they are, and just such growth that takes place in the 6th grade year. I have 3 children, and those 3 children also went to St. Louise school, so I feel really strongly about being here. I feel like we provide a really good quality education at St. Louise, and we're excited to teach your students this year. Besides being a teacher here, I also am one of the faculty speech advisors, and so for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, we have a speech team, and we will be running it virtually this year. So if your student hasn't been able to participate in the past, we're going to make sure that everybody has a chance to have their voice heard through speech team this year. So welcome and thank you for being here tonight, and I'll hand it over to Mr. Glasser.
Hi, I'm Jeff Glasser. I have taught at St. Louise since the year 2000 and 2001 school year, so I've been here quite a while. I teach religion to my 6th grade, to my 6A homeroom, and I teach standard math, and I teach science to both classes. I've really enjoyed working at St. Louise all these years. My favorite thing is working with these guys in the spring after I've really got to know them when we go to camp or do field trips with them. So I'm really hoping we get back to school together this year. I'm ready for the slide.
Okay.
Thank you. 6th grade rules of B. We got 4 of them. The first one is be prepared and organized. And it's teaching kids how to use their schedule, how to be digitally using the team's calendar to watch that through the day and see how it goes into different meetings. Being organized in their planners and their notebooks, taking good notes and making sure they get all their assignments in their planners. Be prompt and use time wisely. It's how they join teams so they can make it for their whole class. If they come in with their mics off, their cameras off, they're there on time. I've been encouraging maybe 2 minutes before the class starts so we're ready to go. And then staying on topic during our meetings really helps. Be productive and follow directions. We want the students to have a nice quiet place at home where they can work, that they're not being interrupted by siblings and things that are, happening in the household, if that is all possible for them. And then to look at the whole assignment when they're working on assignments, reading the directions at least twice, and checking through their finished work and making sure that they have entered it right into teams. Being respectful and kind, always showing that they have Christian values in the work that they do, and then just having positive participation with other students in the class on chat and various places.
Thank you. As you know, education is a partnership, and we value that partnership with you. So we want to make sure that we are working in conjunction to make your students' life as stress-free as possible while they're still learning. So to communicate with us and let us know what's going on with you and your family, the best way to reach us is through email. The students would be able to contact us through Teams, through the chat feature there. And then should we need to meet, just like we're meeting tonight, we would set up a meeting in Teams, and we'll talk a little bit later about those virtual office hours where you can do that. But to contact us for parents, emailing is a great way. Parents, you all have your own jobs to do, and school is your child's job. So in 6th grade, we really want them to own school and take control over their education and be responsible for their own work. So how can you support your child, especially with this tricky online learning? One is helping him or her get logged in on time for their classes. So as Mr. Glasser mentioned, you know, they have their schedule with them. Maybe they're setting timers, they're watching the clock, they've got Teams open, and little reminders should be popping up so that they get logged in. We ask them to not log in any earlier than 5 minutes before class time. We need time to get our classes all set up and everything prepared ahead of time. So just like in the regular school building, if a student were to walk into the school and they look in a classroom and there's no teacher there, they would not just go and sit down in the classroom. They would wait until there was an adult present in the room. So if they pop into a Teams meeting and they think, I don't see my teacher, they just need to pop back out for another minute or two until the teacher begins the meeting. This is tricky days as they are spending so much more time kind of stagnant in front of the computer, and so we ask that you can help your child stay energized by providing healthy snacks and lunches. So students oftentimes will go and just reach for that junk food, so making sure that they have options there of carrots and celery and other things that will feed their brains and keep them energized all throughout the day. The other thing about our lunches and our break times is they have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then a 55-minute lunch, so breaks built in throughout the morning and the afternoon. It's really important that the students step away from the computers and take those breaks and drink some water, walk around, get outside, get some fresh air, and be active for a while. Otherwise, it's pretty difficult to stay in tune to a meeting all the way through the end of the school day. So you can help him or her stay organized with making sure they have a copy of their schedule, that they're looking at their team's calendar. But if they're having more difficulties with organization, we have a couple of support systems in place besides your teachers. So Ms. Cantu is our student services teacher. She can be contacted through email and can work with you to help your child. And then new this year, Mrs. Karen Salmon, she's not only one of our fabulous 6th grade parents, but also one of our instructional aides that will be supporting us with our online learning. So when your students have built-in independent work times on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoons from 3:30 to 4:30, Mrs. Salmon is available for help with your child. And she can log into Teams and help them navigate anything that they're having a tough time with. Today, we introduced the student planners to the students. They pick them up on Passport Day. It's a hard copy. They've had these in years past. We put some handy dandy little page markers in there for them so that they can see right where their passwords are for each of their online accounts, what the long-term plan is as far as looking at a whole calendar all at once, and then the weekly calendar. And we will model this with our classes by putting it under the document camera, showing them how to write on their planners, just like they would if they were here at school. We think it's really important for students to write down their homework by hand, not just rely on looking at Teams, because a lot of times things can get lost in the shuffle and all that busyness that can go up on the screens. So their homework should be listed in 2 places, in Teams under assignments and written down in their student planners. The last way that you can make sure that you're supporting your child and helping them be ready to go in the mornings is to make sure they get enough sleep. So with so much time spent in front of the screens, we really want to make sure that you're limiting that screen time at night, phones taken away and out of their rooms at night if they do have a phone, really letting them wind down so that they get that 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And that's going to help their bodies stay healthy and to help their brains be ready for all the challenges that we will bring their way through online learning.
General expectations and requirements. Homework periods are 60 to 90 minutes long. During the independent work time, they can be spending time working on projects or studying for tests over time. doing, different subject homework. Late work is 50% off. We usually have a day or more, but sometimes it's due the next day. So when it is, if it's a day late, then it'd be 50% off. And then after that, it would be a zero. We really want them to complete that work so they get the skills completed to be able to do the quizzes and tests. For absences, we ask that you contact the office and talk to Mindy or Tracy and tell them what's going on, and check Teams to see what the missed work was and to find the video so you know what to do, so they know what to make up and how to turn it in and so forth for each teacher. For as many days as they are sick and they've been out, they get that many days to make up that time. So if they're just really sick for 3 days and can't work online, then they have 3 days that they can make that up.
Our online grading portal is Skyward. You should be checking that weekly with your child. So parents, you should all have a Skyward login that is your own, and the students all have their own Skyward logins. So from time to time, we might ask them for homework to check Skyward, and that would be a graded assignment. So we do need to make sure that the students know how to log in with their own login. And then for parents, when you're checking Skyward with your child, that's a good time for you to talk about, how are things going? What's going well for you? What do you feel good about? What are some things that are challenging for you? Rather than, getting on them if you see a grade that's less than desirable in your household. When you talk to your child about grades, then they can look at the comments in Teams. So we'll give them feedback about why they might have received a certain grade they did. And there's also comments that you can access in Skyward. So if you ever see a little blue bubble or a little speech bubble, if you click on those, that might give you a little clue like saying late or didn't complete the entire worksheet or whatever it was that caused the grade to be, less than a 100%. If you have any computer issues, as the students had a few times today, and you can't solve it on your own, Dan Kirby is our tech support here at St. Louis, so you can contact him. And then your last way that you can make sure that your student is staying engaged is to make sure they have healthy habits. So limiting that screen time. Once they've been at school during the day, as Mr. Glasser said, they have that scheduled independent work time. But if that doesn't work for your child, feel free to move that time to a different time of day. So they could go and play basketball and shoot hoops or do whatever, and then come back to finish other work they have to do just to get a break from it. In 6th grade, we talk a lot about how we use our words with each other. And especially this is important as we move into doing everything online, that it is really easy for students to do things inadvertently that can be hurtful to others. So we talk a lot about kind communication, being really mindful about that, and that they're always mindful about the content that they are, either if they were doing some research for something or if they're putting things out there for turning it in for a homework assignment or what have you. So today with the 6B religion class, I said, imagine that you had Father Gary or Mr. Fitzpatrick standing right next to you. Would you say that thing, print that thing, send that chat, whatever it is? So help your child just know some of those limitations there, because sometimes 6th graders will do things without thinking.
Curriculum. So we do Old Testament for religion this year, and they'll need to memorize 3 prayers for our grade level. We'll be doing projects as we read through. And for St. Vincent de Paul, we'll be doing collections. We'll figure out a way that we deliver those. I'm not sure how that looks yet. We're still learning about that. For science, we have 2 brand new science books that are online, and I'll talk to students more about that tomorrow. I have codes for them so they can start getting into those possibly over the weekend as a homework assignment. And we're going to be studying environmental science and earth science for water and air. And then for math, we have a standard math and accelerated math. And we'll be reviewing the first 3 chapters, are mostly review, and then upping the skills for that level. We have a 7th grade math book, and if Braden is in, we'll have him talk more about that.
Right here. Thanks, Jeff.
Braden, get a message about your...
Yes, I did. Yes. So I will not be posting or sharing my screen this session. Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Braden Neal. I just wanted to introduce myself to everybody. I am the accelerated, for 6th grade, I am the accelerated math teacher. So the main difference that we kind of have between my class and Jeff's is we will go at a little quicker pace, and we are hoping to get to some 7th grade concepts by the end of the year. So hopefully dive into as many 7th grade concepts at the end as we can, as well as all of the 6th grade book. But I just wanted to mostly pop in and introduce myself. I will state my email, but it will be given to you again at the end of this session, because last time I tried to share my screen and it became a whole mess. So it's Braden N at stlouisschool.org. Braden N as in Neil at stlouisschool.org. And I am available for any questions that you may have regarding the math or the math curriculum. I am super happy to help, and I will be available as much as possible. So shoot me an email. I will send you a response back as soon as I can. And your students also have access to me via Teams. If they have any questions at any given time, they can shoot me a chat through Teams as well. So if anyone has any questions, they can ask them right now. And if not, I will hand it back to Paula and Jeff. But like I said, I just want to put a face to the name and introduce you, because I will have some of your students this year.
Thank you, Braden.
Okay, Paula, Jeff, take her away. Thanks, guys.
All right, going on to our second curriculum page. As I mentioned at the start of the meeting, I am the language arts and social studies teacher, and then I teach religion to my own homeroom class. One thing I love about doing language arts and social studies is that there's a lot of cross-curriculum connections that we can do. And the fact that our social studies curriculum is ancient civilizations goes hand in hand with teaching about Old Testament. So the students sometimes will be sitting in my classroom saying, wait, is this religion or is this social studies right now? And I'll say, yes, it's both. Our language arts curriculum is through the journeys, and I tell the students it's called our Big Fat Reading Book because it's a pretty hefty book, so they're happy that they can have it sitting on their desk there at home. Along with the Journeys anthology is a reader's notebook, and just like the science books, those are consumable, which means the students may write in those. And along with our literature in the Journeys, we also have a novel unit that we do, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, excellent unit, and we usually do this right after Christmas. And it's one of the really favorites of the students. Another part of our language arts curriculum is independent reading. We are changing that up quite a bit. So if you have siblings that have had us in the past, we are changing a bit, especially because of online learning. And I don't want to get into it a bunch tonight, except to say it's going to be much simpler. And our goal is that 6th graders really foster a love of picking up a book to read for fun, rather than seeing it as yet another requirement. So I'll go over that with students next week and then send you more information to help you understand some of the changes, and hopefully that will make your lives a little bit brighter at home. Along with the reading, I teach grammar and writing skills, so those foundational skills to help them be strong in all that they are presenting. And in addition to that, I also introduce speaking skills to them. So this will actually start next week when we start our Intro to Speech unit. And the students will oftentimes during the year do lots of different presentations. So that will look a little bit different as we are doing it online rather than in person. But look for that coming home too. For social studies, as I said, ancient civilizations is the curriculum. And we also hit on current events, and we do that through one of our resources, our Junior Scholastics News, which are great. I use that a lot in the spring for online learning. And if any of you are, have been world travelers in the past, or have extensive knowledge, maybe you grew up in a different country and you could pop in to speak about anything that you are an expert about, I love to have guest speakers come. And again, we can do that, just like we're doing here in the meeting, and you can come in and give the students a different face to see, and a lot of your own wisdom too. So we sure appreciate all of you partnering with us in our curriculum.
Staying connected. So we'll be doing student check-ins this year. This is something we used to be able to handle when we could see a student was sad or something in the classroom. We can't always tell that anymore. So we're going to do check-ins and just see how they're doing with the workload, with friends online, and just a wellness check to see and support the students.
So other ways that we can stay connected is through our virtual office hours. I mentioned at the start of the meeting that our office hours are on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 10, so before the students have their attendance, and Wednesday afternoons 3:30 to 4:30. So if students are feeling unsure about something and they're like, ooh, I really need to talk more about this concept with a teacher or about this homework assignment or whatever they would like to talk about, they can message us in Teams, and then we can set up a meeting in our office hours or during our office hours. For parents, the best way for you to get a hold of us is through email. And then once we've connected through email and set up a time, then we can join in Teams just like we're doing now. So I was so excited to start the slideshow that I think I forgot to hit one button. So I'm going to end it for a minute to make sure I've done this right, because I practiced in between presentations. And I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute. And then share again. Hit the magic button. And then, Mr. Glasser, tell me if you can see that I am on our second to the last slide now.
Looking good right now, yes.
Oh, yay. So as we've said throughout the presentation, sixth grade is a great time to let your child gain independence. And sometimes we want to help them too much, but sixth grade is a good time to kind of get them started and then let go, as this video should show you. Okay, so at this point, we will take questions from you. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Our emails are there. And as we said, Braden's is just Braden N. So Braden Neal at stlouisschool.org. And I'll stop sharing and let you raise your hand if you have any questions for us. Or just unmute yourself if you want to just chime in with something. Yes.
So I am Tara Maloney. I'm Paige's mom.
Hi.
And hi, nice to see you guys again. One of the things that I think is going to be challenging for us this year is that Paige is not in the same space necessarily every day. And so I was curious, right now we've got a cart where she's taking all her books where she needs to be. And so can we follow that schedule pretty strict? And if she doesn't have something in a day, leave a book home so that we're not carrying everything from one place to another?
That would depend on if she had homework in that one book she left and she's going to be staying longer, I would think. Paula, do you got?
Well, some of the books are online, so she can access them online, but they're, I guess we would have to maybe try to coordinate with you, Tara, a little bit ahead of time to say, okay, this week looks like we're going to be heavily into the journeys. You're going to need journeys every day. Keep in mind that like she'll have language arts 2 days a week and then doesn't have it for another day. So for sure, the class schedule of when we teach different classes will stay the same. So if that's what you're asking,
okay, yeah,
we won't vary from that unless there's a schedule change, such as like at the very end of the month, there's a school mass. That doesn't affect the sixth graders, except that they're going to come in a little bit earlier for the 9 o'clock mass on a Friday morning.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. This is just during the day, during school hours, right? So
Yeah.
she's coming home every night. We just got to figure out what she needs to take with her while she's out. So
Okay.
This helps.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Good question. What else?
Just one quick question on Skyward. This is Sergio, Ilika's father. I don't remember having my credentials. How or Priscilla's? How can we have them as parents?
That's a good question for Dan Kirby. So he should, I'm pretty sure parents usually get them emailed to them, so that it should have been the same, from year to year to year. So Dan Kirby is the one to ask for what your parent login is for Skyward.
Perfect. I will send
Thank
him
you.
an
You're welcome. Yes.
Hi, this is Christina's mom. I just wanted to ask, in the other grades, they said they canceled the standardized testing. Is that the case for grade 6 as well?
Oh, like the MAPS testing?
Yes,
Yes. So as far as I understand, we're not doing the MAPS testing this fall.
altogether. Okay,
Right.
thank
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you for showing up tonight.
Oh, I
there's
think
a
there's
question.
another one.
Another question on cell phones. I remember a video that says that we may need to use cell phones during classes, but I don't know if that's a rule and a recommendation or I got that wrong maybe. So I just wanted to ask on that one.
Speaking from last spring's experiences, there were some students that had connectivity problems. And so sometimes if their microphone wasn't working with their cameras, with their laptop computers, some students actually had to use the Teams app on their phones. The other thing you might be thinking about is if they had some work that they did, they hand wrote something and they were supposed to take a picture of it, and then you're supposed to do something with the picture from the phone to get it to Teams. We'll walk them through how to do all those kinds of things. But as far as the phone during class, usually not unless you're having technical difficulties with the student using their laptop from home. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? All right, well, thank you so much for being here. If you think of things after the fact, don't hesitate to reach out by email to us, and we hope that you have a good evening. And thanks again for being at our curriculum night.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one quick question for both
Thank
of you.
Sure.
This is Paige's mom again. Normally we have a meeting with Miss Cantu and the teachers. Should I request it with both of you since you're both sharing her this year for different subjects?
Yes, that'd be
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
super.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording.